Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm going to be doing a Little D deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck plays the most powerful card ever created. Little D. And this is Little D's Great Adventure. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name screen every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the most broken card ever, 3 copies of Little D. This card, once it hits field, you're usually going to end up winning the game because of just how strong this card is. It's absolutely crazy when you get it on your side of the field because we can equip this card with multiple equip cards just to help us go in for game. Plus, it's absolutely broken. We then play 3 copies of Ashoka Pillar because it's a pillar. It's really good in the deck because it has the ability that if this card is summoned, you get to add an equip spell from your deck to your hand. Then, if this card is in attack position, change its defense position, which is a really cool ability just to instantly get any equip spell that we need to be able to go off with this build. We then play 3 copies of Water Enchantress, and she's not useless. This card is really good as a 3-up to help us get to our copy of Rite of Arameser. We then play a single copy of Wandering Griffin Rider because Little D needs some wheels. This card is really good to be able to summon to your side of the field because it's an awesome one-of that's actually a walking gate, and it's very easy to get to with Fateful Adventure. We then play a single copy of Knight because this card is actually Little D's bodyguard, and it's really good as a one-of in the build because it helps you just out your opponent's board so we can go in for game. It has the ability during the main phase, if you control no monsters or control an adventure token, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field. And if you control an adventure token, quick effect, you can actually target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, give control of this card to your opponent, and if you do, return those cards back to the hand, helping you basically board wipe your opponent and deal with 2 cards on their side of the field so we can swing in with Little D. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is a really good one of the deck to be able to send our copy of Water Enchantress to the graveyard so we can get to our copy of Rite of Arameser. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. We really don't need an extra deck. We're already playing the most broken card in our main deck, Little D. So this card is just really good at helping us draw into it. We then play 3 copies of Unexpected Die. This card is great because it instantly lets us summon Little D from the deck, which is very important to get it on our side of the field because again, once you summon it to your side of the field, you're probably just going to win. We then play 3 copies of Rite of Arameser. Rite of Arameser is really good because it helps us get an adventure token on our side of the field and also helps us get to Fateful Adventure. We then play a single copy of Fateful Adventure. Fateful Adventure is great as a one of the deck because it helps us get to a bunch of different cards like our Wandering Griffin Rider and our copy of Knight, which is just really nice to be able to do. We then play a single copy of Dracoback. Dracoback is a great card because it's basically the backup for Wandering Griffin Rider for Little D's wheels, and it's really good to be able to play in the deck as well because it bounces cards off the field. We then play a single copy of the Starbow. Starbow is really good in the deck as one of it is searchable off of Ashoka Pillar. All the equip spells are, which is nice because, you know, it's a pillar. This card is great because it does reduce the attack points of a monster by 1,000 to make it more fair for Little D so that we don't like completely overwhelm our opponent. But this card is also really good because it's great in the deck because it lets our monster attack directly. And once you equip Little D with a bunch of equip cards, you know, we're probably going to win. We then play 2 copies of Psychic Blade. Psychic Blade is insane in the deck as a 2-of, because it basically boosts the monster up by 2,000 attack points, which is crazy powerful to be able to instantly boost the monster up by 2,000. We then play 3 copies of Moon Mirror Shield. Moon Mirror Shield is really good in the deck as a 3-of, because this card has the ability to, if the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, the equipped monster's attack defense becomes equal to the attack and defense of whatever monster it's battling plus 100, meaning if we equip this card to Little D, it's going to make the basically more fair for our opponent because we don't want to overwhelm them again, but it's really good in the deck to be able to help us swing over monsters. We then play 3 copies of Power of the Guardians. Power of the Guardians is really cool in this deck as a 3-of because it makes our monsters absolutely massive. This card is great in the deck because if an attack is declared involving the equipped monster, you place a spell counter on this card, and for every spell counter on this card, the equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense points. And if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you remove a spell counter from this card on the field instead, which is great to give us a little bit of protection. We then play 3 copies of Mage Power. Mage Power is hilarious when you draw into multiple copies of this card because it does, again, make little d massive D, which is really cool because it has the ability the equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense for each spell or trap that you control. If you activate multiple of this card, they're going to be going up by a lot, which is insane to be able to do. And it's just a really, really good 3-of in the deck to make our monsters absolutely massive. We then play 3 copies of United We Stand, because United We Stand with Little D. This card is great as a 3-of in the build because it does let Little D gain 800 attack points for each face-up monster we control, which with the copies of the Adventure tokens, Wandering Griffin Rider, stuff like that, we can get about 3 monsters on the field usually with it. So it's going to be going up by like 2,400, which is really cool because it does count itself, which is really, really nice. I love that about this card. It's actually one of my favorite combos in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually Mage Power plus United We Stand. It was actually what my first deck ever was based around, which is really awesome. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the most broken trap ever, and that's going to be 3 copies of Magic Cylinder. Magic Cylinder is the card for this deck. This card is so insane, it just redirects an opponent's attack back at them, which is really cool because they do take the damage. It's the best way to play the deck. It's one of the most broken trap cards ever. It's hilarious when it goes off. They do take burn damage, which is really cool, and I love that about this card. Plus, nobody expects Magic Cylinder. Nobody is going to expect this card when you flip it up against the opponent. They're going to go, oh, I'm going to swing into your monster or swing directly, and you're going to flip Magic Cylinder, and you go, ha, game. Like, I love this card as a 3-of in the build. It's hilarious. It's really cool in the deck, and it's an awesome old school card that's really amazing. Plus, we have 3 of the Labyrinth of Nightmare ones. You got to play it if you got them. So this is really awesome to be able to play as a 3-of in the build, just to basically do burn damage to your opponent. It's hilarious when it goes off and you just instantly win the game because you do burn damage to your opponent. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra, guys, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Sandwich, just in case I get hungry while I'm playing this deck, or Little D does. This card is not summonable, but it's still really cool to play, and, I like this card. So we're going to play it just in case, just in case Little D gets hungry. So we need to play 3 copies of Sandwich. We then play 3 copies of Nightmare Shark. Nightmare Shark is great as a 3-of because this card can actually attack directly, which is insane to be able to just equip this card with multiple equip spells and then swing directly, because why not? It's really funny because you can make it huge and then just go in for game. We then play a single copy of Fortune Tune because it's fortunate. This card is good. It's really cool in the deck because basically it helps you make Zeus. We do play Zeus at multiples, which is really awesome in this deck because this card is just really easy to do. But again, I just kind of needed another rank 3. We then play 2 copies of Downard. Downard's really good at giving us an extra material for Zeus, which is why we play this card as a 2-of in the deck. And it's just a really good 2-of in the build. You never are attacking with this card. You're just basically using this card as an extra material. Hey, Downard, you're just an extra material. That's all you do. We then play 3 copies of Typhon. Typhon is insane as a 3-of. It's just really good because you can make it on top of a monster. It's very easy to summon to your side of the field. It's a bounce. It's a skill drain for 3,000 or higher attack points. And it's just really, really, really good. I absolutely love this card in the deck because it's super easy to summon because during the turn or the turn after, your opponent's special special summons 2 or more monsters from their extra deck. You can also XZ summon this card using 1 monster you control with the highest attack, your choice, if it's a tie, and you transfer all materials to this card, which is really cool if it's an XZ, which is really nice to be able to do, but you cannot normally special summon after you summon this card for the rest of the turn, which is not that big of a deal. It's just really good to be able to summon this card out. And again, we're playing Extravagance. Why not play Typhon? We then also play 3 copies of Zeus. Zeus is just really good as a 3 of because it's Zeus. We can make it really easily with our copies of our number 47 Nightmare Shark. We can make it with our copy of Fortune Tomb. We can make it with Typhon on the follow-up, which is really nice to be able to do. And it's just a really good card in the deck to be able to use because it is a board wipe. It's a really good board wipe. It's very easy to summon to our side of the field. And it's very, it's like just like a very good card to be able to make in this deck because we play so many different XZs in the build to be able to make. Because if we don't finish them off with Nightmare Shark, we can just summon our copy of Zeus and wait till we can summon Little D and swing in for game. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun. Make sure you guys are playing Magic Cylinder. It's a very important card. It's a super important staple to be able to play. And just in case you guys do get hungry, make sure you play Sandwich. Always keep your sandwich with you. It's very important to be able to do. Plus, we have Little D, the most broken card ever. You guys know it's a 3 of in every single deck, at least in the side deck if you want to make it fair for your opponent to give them a fighting chance. But you got to make sure you're maining this card because it's the most important card in the entire game. So, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we will see you in the next video. See you later, guys.